Welcome to the Piece by Piece Autism Podcast with your hosts, Angie and Christi. They've worked 25 years to help Alec get the most out of life. Let them tell you how they're doing it.
Hello, and welcome back to the Piece by Piece Autism Podcast. Today, we are going to do a little throwback time travel advice by Christi. We want to have a little bit of a question and answer back and forth because we know that being in the moment of an autism diagnosis has got to be daunting, to say the very least.
It is.
So we want to talk about kind of what you did, where you went, who did you turn to for guidance, what were your first steps, treatment urgency, and all the things. So let's start it off by telling us about how did you go about getting a diagnosis?
My father-in-law he is a physician in Lubbock, Texas, where we were living at the time, and he found a really good pediatrician to send us to. Oddly enough, he was an oncologist.
Oh, wow.
But he was just really a gifted pediatrician and very aware of a lot of things going on with children. And I took him in and he immediately said, "Have you heard of autism?" And I had only barely heard of autism. So, yeah.
And as a reminder, Alec is now 27 years old.
Yes.
And I mean, that many years ago, right? Like
that many years ago.
Autism is such a prevalent word in our community right now, but it was not so much 27 years ago.
It was not prevalent.
I guess 26-ish years ago, because Alec was how old when he was diagnosed?
He was 2 years old when he was diagnosed. So that guy, the oncologist, pediatrician, sent me to a diagnostician, and she specialized in autism, which was amazing in this town of, 200,000 people at the time.
Yeah.
There was this really good PhD diagnostician in autism. And so we took Alec in to see her at 2 years old. And I was so glad that I went with her because there was no credibility issue. I mean, I trusted her whenever I went in and I could see that she knew her stuff.
Yeah.
And so I felt very good about that. The thing I didn't feel good about, and that I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, is take someone with you whenever you get your diagnosis, because she told me, your son is looking autistic, but we have to do all of these tests. We have to send them home with you and your husband and my mom, who was really close to Alec at the time, and you have to do all this testing. And so it would have been nice, like, if I had realized it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. That's a lot to have thrown at you, especially on your own.
Yes, and my husband was traveling, a lot for his work, and he was gone, and I don't know why my mom didn't come with me. She was probably working, and so that was kind of bad. But I wish I had not done that, and I also wish I had I think I didn't want to accept it at that point that he might be autistic, because the pediatrician before the pediatrician that referred me to the diagnostician had said he might be deaf. And so I thought, I didn't know what I was really looking at that point, or what was going to end up happening with his diagnosis. So I wish I had looked into autism a little bit more, educated myself.
Yeah. I bet those are natural feelings to just say, wait, no, this can't be. There's got to be something different or more. But knowing that you trusted your diagnostician, or she had the expertise in that field, you kind of have to take it and run with it. So
and I mean, part of it might have been good that I had no idea what I was going into.
True.
I literally didn't know what I was going into. I didn't realize that it was as dire as it was.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
thought, oh, he'll snap out of this and we'll be right back to normal
And
life. And
at the time of the diagnosis, did they have an idea as to his severity level at that time?
yes, they did.
Okay, so you
They
did
said he
know.
was severe.
Okay.
Yes, he was. I mean, just his behaviors and absolutely zero development of speech.
Right.
Zero. No mama, dada, nothing.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well,
yeah.
then once you had that diagnosis, what then were your next steps?
Well, I went home and we actually did have internet then. We had dial up.
Do do do.
You've got mail. So, yeah, we had dial up. And so I got on and I would look up what to do. And the main thing that I saw was this data driven, proven method called ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis. And I just took that and ran with it. The thing that I wish I could change is that I would have advised myself to just chill.
Yeah.
Chill out. Don't panic. It's only been 6 months since his diagnosis, and I had a home program set up at 6 months. Now that I look back on that, I go,
That's crazy.
whoa. Because I also had 3 other children. My husband traveled 5 days a week. We had a pretty hectic and robust life. And
Yeah.
so to think that I could pull all that together in 6 months, I'm not really even sure how I did it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, incredible. That's quite the achievement. But hindsight, you're saying it
chill
maybe
out.
wasn't that dire. It may be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, we were starting early, is what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
were already starting early. So, like, so what? So wait another month and don't be so panicked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just felt like, I was in a race against time and the sooner you do it, da da da. But he got an early diagnosis at 2.
Right.
And if the doctor had been better, the diagnostician, he could have been diagnosed earlier. Sorry. That's an aside there.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing I would say is to pay attention to your gut, your inspiration, whatever your guiding force is. I've said it in other podcasts. I
Yeah.
maintain that that's an incredibly important part.
Yeah. Your
And I'm
mother's intuition.
exactly.
Yeah. For
And I'm
sure.
glad I did that. I'm really glad I did that. If I had it to do over again, I actually did it this way, probably by accident. I, I set up my applied behavior analysis structure first, getting the consultant hired, and then as quickly as possible, I got the speech therapy and then the occupational therapy.
Right.
So, that was good. That was all good. I just didn't realize it was good, and I didn't get to celebrate because I was beating myself up because I wasn't doing it faster.
I mean,
So
well.
anyway, that brings me to my next point. Give yourself grace, chill out, ask for help, savor your child's childhood because your child is still a child.
Yeah.
And you're bringing in this intense therapy because it's what's proven to work. So you're going, yeah, I need to do that. But you also have to, it's not the childhood you expected or hoped for, but it's the childhood that you have. And so just to enjoy little moments of that. I wish I had done probably a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
And not felt so, we've got to hit this hard. We got to lose this diagnosis.
Push. Yeah.
I wish someone had just said, hey, you're not going to lose the diagnosis. And we did eventually have consultants that told us
told you that.
bluntly, like, oh, he'll live with you forever, or he'll always need your help, or whatever. So, but I don't want to frustrate anyone. We're in such a good place now.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's great things that can be done. There's a lot of hope.
Awesome.
I also wanted to say, I had friends along the way that had a hard time listening to professionals and actually doing what they said. I think it's incredibly hard to 100% of the time do that. I just think you have to run your family the way you run your family, and you have to make decisions based on how much time you have to devote or
For
whatever.
sure. Yeah.
So you just kind of have to make that judgment and then apply what you're learning from the professionals. If it makes sense to you, if it feels your gut check is good, your inspiration is there, whatever it is that's driving you to
Yeah.
make the decisions, you know. And then my thing always comes back to the mom versus the teacher. Like, if with applied behavior analysis, it's like it's kind of a way of life. It's a way of thinking
Mm-hmm.
about every interaction you have with your child.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
not
that,
just a 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. Yeah.
no, and so that can get blurry as
Mm-hmm.
far as like the lines on that. And so I would just say be aware of it and decide how you're going to make that work.
Right. Because you
So,
still have to stay sane at the end of the night.
that's preferred. It's preferred.
You
Not
can't.
always achievable
Yeah.
at every moment, but it is preferred.
Yes.
So, anyway,
Well, we know a typical kid is called an adult, which is crazy, at the age of 18. Adult in quotes, right?
yeah.
It still is laughable. But what did you experience as Alec transitioned into adulthood?
Well, I was in denial big time. And I
Yeah,
realized looking back on it, I go, oh my goodness, why was I in such denial? But I think I envisioned him just being a child. Like, I always have envisioned him way younger than he is.
I think that's natural with his developmental delays to kind of see him a little bit younger, needing a little bit more support in areas that his peers may not need, would lend to, wanting to keep him little and you're protecting him. And he's
Yeah.
he's just your baby too. He was your youngest.
And I thought he would always want to live with mom and dad and just be happy there, just with
Yeah.
the warm, cozy life we had given him. He had his own room, he had his Barney on the TV. I just thought, how cozy is that? But guess what? He wanted to be an adult.
Yeah.
And because he could express himself on his letterboard, he could express this. Oh, I want to do things that my siblings are doing who have gone before him, because he's the youngest of four. And he's seeing them going away to college, then them get married, you know.
Yeah. Life
So,
moves on from mom and dad's home.
yes, they moved
Yeah.
on from mom and dad's home. So he kind of craved that. And I wasn't ready for that. I
Hmm.
was just like, wait. So anyway, that was rough. The other thing was rough, like just the years of having caretakers in and out, coming in and out. And I think especially as he's become an adult and we have people who come in overnight with him.
Hmm.
It just feels like it's a revolving door of people coming in and like us getting to know them, getting to love them, and them graduating from college and moving
Yeah.
away. It's like I I wish I could have braced myself better for that, but I guess you handle what you handle
Right.
as it's given to you. And so I would also give myself more grace, which I think everybody probably needs to do at one time or another in your child's development and your autism treatment. And that's just saying, you're doing okay. You're on the right track. You're giving him a full life. It's enriched. And if he has to spend a little bit of downtime sitting in his chair taking a nap, that's okay.
Yeah.
And just kind of chill out and let adulthood be a little bit more chill approach than his direct trial, table trials,
Yeah.
etc., that we were doing that just were go, 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 push,
Yeah.
push, push.
Lots of programs, lots of
So,
data, lots of all the things when he's younger
yeah.
to meet all these expectations and milestones.
Yeah, and I think you pull me back sometime right now because I tend to be hard driving as far as like wanting him to accomplish more because I just know he's got a lot of
Oh,
potential.
yeah. Yeah.
And I
There's,
think I would celebrate the wins more
mm-hmm,
and worry less about his deficiencies
mm-hmm.
because he still has a huge deficiency when it comes to receptive discrimination. If I say go get your toy, he can't do that.
Yeah.
And that bugs me because we've tried every program that we can possibly think of, and we have not been able to teach that. It's truly a deficit that I don't think can be overcome at this point. If you say he's 27 years old, so just accepting that some things will be, he'll keep learning and he'll keep growing, etc.
But
But
we
to,
can celebrate that he can ski down a mountain independently with
yes,
like, did
yes,
you
we
ever
can.
dream when he was a little tyke that he was going to be zooming down the mountain with the coolest ski instructor next to him
Never.
with the amount of independence that he has done?
No.
It's incredible.
No, and that's what I'm saying here. It's like
Yeah.
just enjoy those things.
Yeah.
If that's kind of a big thing, but he does a lot of little things that are like, oh my goodness, just getting his shoes on before we're going to go somewhere. Of course, that's in context RD, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
Receptive discrimination.
Yeah.
And so just celebrating those and so if I were to travel back in time, those are the things that I would really want to tweak a little bit or enjoy a little bit more or be
Yeah.
a little bit more chill about.
No, I love it. Words to the wise, right? You've been there, you've done it.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself and reach out, get the support, have the doctors and those working with your child be experts in their fields and really be able to know with your mom intuition, whatever you
Hmm.
want to call it, that you're making the best decisions for your child. So,
Yeah.
not only that, but still balancing and having the energy to also enjoy your other children and to run your home and to support your spouse and work and other demands that you have.
And
So,
take care of yourself.
yes, the balance of it is
And
really crucial.
maybe I should say that would be a regret too. I feel like that
Yeah,
you always leave yourself to last and it is so hard when you're in that caretaking role. But
for sure.
yeah.
Well, we are so glad that you joined us today. That's a wrap for today's episode of Piece by Piece. If you're loving these conversations as much as we are, hit the follow button, share the show, and help us spread the word, because every piece of the story matters. If you've got a story, question, or idea, slide into our DMs to shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Piece by Piece Autism Podcast. That's PIECE, Piece by Piece Autism Podcast. Until next time, see you later.
Bye-bye.